So I started working on this video over 2 weeks ago now. It's been about 16 days. And during that time, I went through 2 units. This is my third. So I have a lot to talk about. I've, of course, exchanged the laptop. A few times, hence this being the third unit. So we're going to be talking about why. But first, let's talk about some basic things I've run into with this laptop. For instance, the fans will never turn off. So if you're expecting this 14-inch laptop to be like a silent ultrabook, even in ideal scenarios where you have nothing running, like right now, there's nothing running in this computer, but you can still kind of hear the fans a little bit. The fans will always be on. It's possible to, turn them off with software, but I'm not going to dive too far into that today. That might be a future follow-up video, maybe some optimization video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that, and make sure to hit like if you want to see more content on the G14. But yeah, that's one thing there. Fans don't turn off. We also have intake vents on the bottom that partially obstruct the airflow. I know some people have said that, no, the G14 does not have that. The vents are clear all the way through. If you look at the bottom, you can see you've got the dark fan cutouts, so obviously the fans aren't obstructed. And while that's mostly true, if we take a look here, so you can see on the bottom of the laptop here we have these black vents. Obviously they're cut out and go through the bottom plastic, so you would assume that the fan probably goes through clear there. But if I put a light here, you can see, look at that big piece of metal obstructing most of the airflow through there. You can see that there's some dark shadowing that you can see through the vents. But that is unfortunately not all of the vent. Most of it is obstructed. So the fan intake is mostly obstructed on this laptop, which is quite unfortunate. That's something to keep in mind. Doesn't impact thermals very much. The thermals of the laptop are still quite good. Specifically the 1650 model with the 60 Hz display. Not all models have thermals as good as this unit, so that's just something to keep in mind. Also, we have some keyboard registration issues to talk about. Basically, on the G14 and many other Asus keyboards that have the same general design, if you don't firmly press on the key in the center, or you just don't firmly press on the key, which is easy to do when typing quickly or playing in games, you will not get a registered keystroke in certain situations. So let me just show you how to test for that. So we're going to look up a keyboard tester. We're going to go to the en.keytest.ru. You can see this is the keyboard tester. We'll just make this bigger. All right, so you can see here, I'll just type some keys, obviously working. And, when you push the key down, it goes blue. Let go, it's white. So I'm going to press on this H key here and just watch what happens. So there's H right here. I'm just going to press it. There you go, you can see it. But watch what happens when I do this. Not working at all. Now I'll press again hard. You can see it registers. But I'll press again gently. No registration. I'll press in the middle gently. It registers sometimes. If I'm really careful, I can make it not register. You can see I was doing that. It's not registering. Sometimes it is. And I'll hit J. That one registers. If I press gently on the edge, no registration. Side, no registration. This feels like a legit keystroke, but it's not working most of the time. And this might feel like you're holding the key down, but often it won't actually register. So that's a big issue when you're typing with WASD on the keyboard here. Basically playing in games, that becomes a big concern. There's nothing you can do about that though, unfortunately. The keyboard is just not designed to respond in that kind of situation as well as you might think it is. This is a problem on every G14 I've tested. I've had multiple through now. I tested the one at the store. I'll have links in the description to my testing. This is the third unit. I'll have a first, second, and a store video, probably if I can find it. But every single G14 that's been in my hands, I have been able to reproduce this issue on. So it is a design flaw for sure. But yeah, so if you're concerned about any of these issues and you just want to get a laptop that doesn't have any defects, Atlas might be a good solution for you. Atlas is the company I've started up just this month in December that offers laptop testing and exporting services for customers within and outside of the USA. So if you're in India, the UAE, the United Kingdom, Australia, or pretty much anywhere else around the globe, I can get a US laptop to you in working condition. Not only do I sell laptops, but I also sell accessories such as mice or keyboards, graphics cards, processors, or even computer monitors. All of that will be tested within my capability. You'll receive a test report before I ship it out. You can check on anything, make sure it's all up to your standards. If you want to make sure that expensive piece of tech arrives in your hands defect-free, or you simply want a laptop that's available in the US shipped to your country, Atlas has a solution for you. I will disclose again, this is my company, but yeah, that's it for the ad. Back to the content here. In terms of quality control, I do have some concerns. This is one of the reasons why I probably won't be shipping this laptop via Atlas, if at all possible. I will do it upon request, but basically, this is my third unit. I've had 2 defective units that have been defective in a pretty major way. The first unit I had, the right side fan was buzzing, rattling, that kind of thing, so just straight up defective. If the fan was on even a little loud, it would just get noisy. And also there was pretty horrible coil whine or whistling or something coming from the laptop, even when it really wasn't doing anything. And yes, I did have the keyboard backlight on, still was having that issue, so not a fan of that. Returned it, got a new one. And on the second unit, I opened this at Best Buy just to make sure I wasn't going to get a defective one. And I ran into one slight defect right away. And that was that the power button was sticky on the left side. So whenever you'd press the power button, it would just get stuck down. The whole system would basically shut down, reboot, loop, because the power button's held down by basically itself. And it would cause issues, super annoying, made turning the laptop on just a little bit of a hassle. And then the backslash key just kind of came off. I'll have a video on screen showing that. This is a clip I took with my phone, just demonstrating the issue. Kind of ridiculous. I'll also have a link to the full video I took in the description for that. And this is my third unit. I haven't ran into any major issues with this laptop yet. Just this specific model, any defects, not really, outside of the keyboard concerns and whatnot. This still has some coil whine, that kind of sucks, but there's nothing you can really do about that, so we're just gonna acknowledge that it's there and move on for now. All G14s also have an additional design defect, which is a faulty charging circuit. This is a slight edge case issue. Not everyone's going to especially care about this, but it's important nevertheless. If you plan on buying one of these, you need to know about this. Basically, if you have the AC power barrel plugged in, as well as a USB charging device that's high enough power, 100-watt charger essentially at the same time, it can destroy the device. It will no longer charge, maybe not even turn on anymore. So let's say, for instance, you have your laptop plugged in, and you're going to plug into some sort of USB-C monitor. If you don't know if that monitor is actually like powered, I would not do it. I would unplug your charger first, because you might kill your laptop. This is an issue I've seen reported multiple times. A lot of people running into it, still running into it to this day. So Asus hasn't actually fixed this issue as far as I'm aware. And Asus, if you have fixed this issue, I will test my laptop with that exact situation, and if it dies, I'll have another video to talk about. So, and outside of just the defects, the touchpad is a little small for my liking. It's a bit of a personal preference, but it's just a little smaller than a lot of the 14-inch laptops I use. It's even a little smaller than the ThinkPad T480 I use, which is a little a little shameful, but I understand that a small trackpad is not really a huge deal for a gaming laptop to use a mouse with, but nevertheless, it's worth noting. And the hinge can make the laptop somewhat slippery on some table surfaces. It doesn't really provide a whole lot of benefit. I mean, obviously it lifts the laptop up so it can get a little bit better airflow, but the benefit's kind of questionable compared to, conventional just putting a bigger rubber foot on the back. And the actual benefit of that is pretty much nullified by the obstructed fan intake anyway. So I don't know what they're really trying to accomplish there. It doesn't really seem like they're aiming to, improve the thermals if they're willing to choke them. If they're willing to dampen them pretty much intentionally. Again, thermals are decent on this device, just airflow's restricted in a way that's a little silly. Also, regarding the key registration issues, I ran into the same issue Jared's Tech ran into on a similar Asus laptop. If I press the spacebar along this bottom edge, you can see that it does not register in this software. I'll hit the spacebar here, obviously shows up, but if I just tap it along this bottom edge or push it, it's really not that reliable that it picks it up. So I don't understand why they did that and didn't actually make sure it worked. But yeah, that's it for today. If you haven't noticed already, I have a new camera. It's a Lumix G7. A really awesome camera. I got it for super cheap on eBay, and it's really improved the quality of my video, at least as far as I can tell. If you have any feedback on the new camera view, let me know. I'm going to be getting some more lights, so it should be a little brighter in the upcoming videos. But yeah, everything's a bit improved. Be sure to check out Atlas if you're interested in getting a laptop internationally. I, of course, will be handling all laptops shipped through that, so check it out. Linked in the description. That's atlaspc.org. If you want to support the channel itself, you can check out Patreon, channel memberships, that kind of thing. That all supports me wonderfully. And thank you for supporting the channel if you are. Be sure to get subscribed and like the video if you haven't already. Leave any comments if you have any questions. Join the community Discord. And that's it for today. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys later.